Well, after that huge demanding Zelda video, a return to one of my comfort zones seems appropriate. Hence the reason for today's topic. Is it possible to beat New Super Mario Bros. 2 without touching a single brick block? This is the 5th time we've tried this challenge on a new Super Mario Bros. Game, so if you really need the deep dive into the rules, watch one of those previous videos. Suffice to say that we are trying to beat the game, see the credits, that whole thing, all while requiring of ourselves the avoidance of blocks made of bricks. Specifically these, and nothing else. Alright then, onwards. The first level we face is unsurprisingly 1-1. This level's main bricky threat lies above our heads. The lion's share of these can be avoided by simply not jumping. But not all are that simple, for a few hover over note blocks, which for those unfamiliar are quite a bouncy form of block. Luckily, the bounce gained from these blocks when not adding to it with a jump of your own don't launch Mario anywhere near high enough to touch the bricks. And with that, we can safely leave 1-1 behind us. Next up is 1-2, and if history is anything to go by, this should be an interesting one. The level opens in a very familiar way. Last time we saw this sort of entry, it was followed up with the narrowest possible margin of error. This time though, we get a bit luckier, since if we don't move, we land not on bricks, but on a POW block. From here, a somewhat tight but nowhere near pixel-perfect jump grants us a way past the bricks that border the POW block. The next obstacle we face is this brick structure. It at first seems impassable, until we throw a shell at one of those POW blocks, which destroys a good number of the bricks, while turning the rest in its range into empty blocks. Now under normal circumstances, empty blocks are perfectly fine for us to touch, whether they be naturally occurring or as a result of hitting a question mark block. These ones, however, are produced from the ashes of brick blocks. So just to be safe, I will not touch any empty blocks that were previously brick blocks. Luckily, that doesn't include this one that was a POW block, from which we can throw another shell into yet another POW block to clear a way through the rest of the obstacle. Things aren't too bad until we reach this very tight section just before the checkpoint flag. Like I said, it's a very tight space, but even as large Mario, it can be successfully navigated with a bit of precision and crouch jumping. Then after the checkpoint, we are greeted by this Koopa Fort, which is of course made of bricks. This is an obstacle that no Mario can clear in a single bound, and as far as I can tell, there are no places uncorrupted by bricks for a heroic plumber to stage a second jump from on this entire structure. And with this manifestation of failure, this roadblock given brick and mortar form, Mario can't take it, and instead throws himself into the abyss. But what's this? It seems the death of Mario was part of the plan all along. He's back and stronger than ever. Behold the might of Mario the White Raccoon. Yes, this is one of those games where if you die a bunch in a level, they give you an invincibility power-up. Here it's the Gold Super Leaf, which gives Mario an OP version of the Raccoon power-up. And honestly, just a regular one would have been perfectly fine, but I don't think you can actually get one until 1-3, so we're stuck with the Super version. What it does for us is allow us to slow our descent enough to clear the fort, which is honestly the last tough obstacle before the end of the level. Next up is 1-3, the natural home of the Super Leaf, and as such, an extremely easy level. Our next encounter is with the World 1 Tower, which yields us access to its secret exit with minimal brick-based difficulty. We then face the World 1 Cannon, which is also a very brick-light experience, ushering us into World Mushroom. Mushroom 1 then proves to be a level that contains bricks. That's for sure, though not in any even remotely close to threatening configurations. We follow that up with Mushroom 2, an extremely easy underwater level. No issues here. Mushroom Ghost House is a generally brick-light level, though I did need to play it twice since I forgot to get the secret exits the first time through. That naturally brings us to Mushroom B, and let me tell you, this one's a wee bit more interesting. If I had to describe the baseline premise of this level in a single phrase, I would likely say, it's a vertically auto-scrolling level wherein you must advance by climbing up vines emerging from brick blocks. Like I said, much more interesting. Luckily for us, though, the game is actually on our side here. You see, it seems to really not want us to directly touch these brick blocks, since it keeps giving us lifelines every time we need to activate one. Its go-to is POW blocks, but Koopa shells aren't unheard of either. So yes, while the level looked quite intimidating, it's actually a lot more accommodating than it first lets on. That victory allows us to pass to Mushroom Cannon, which, come to think of it, sounds like it should be a Mario Kart track. Not that that's a relevant comment. What is relevant is the lack of bricks on display in this level. Then, Flower 1 and Flower Ghost House's secret exit are extremely simple and also the wrong way to go. What we really wanted was Flower 1's secret exit, into Flower A followed by Flower Cannon, none of which pose a major brick-related issue. The next thing standing in our way is 6-1, the standard meteors falling on bricks level. Luckily for us, the meteors do a pretty good job at clearing our path in the first half of the level, and bricks are barely present in the second half. Completion of that level opens a path to the 6th Ghost House, which features this moment where you have to activate a switch right next to some bricks. It seems to be a pretty tight squeeze, and I think I know just the power-up to deal with something like this. It's time to find ourselves a mini mushroom. I think the easiest level to get to that contains a mini mushroom would be Flower 3, so let's get on that. Flower Ghost House's regular exit is pretty easy. It's then followed by Flower 2, which has really only one instance of difficult bricks, which would be this golden brick block, which has been incessantly following us around for several levels now. It's really annoying, but nevertheless, even that isn't too difficult to avoid. Then comes Flower 3 itself, which is no problem from a bricks perspective, and as previously stated, grants us that mini mushroom we're after. We are now to take that mini mushroom to 6th Ghost House, where it allows us to thread the needle on the switch as well as squeeze through this gap later in the level. Thank you, smallness. Then we head to 6-2, a level that puts nearly all of its bricks up high where you aren't really in any danger of making contact with them during normal play. Next up is 6-3, a traditional cave level, which means loads of bricks. I decided to be Raccoon Mario for this one, as his slow descent makes bounding over some of these brick formations a piece of cake. It is important to remember, though, that when the bricks are overhead, sometimes the best course of action is to not jump at all, and sometimes the best course of action is to crouch jump. Then comes 6th Tower, where bricks don't really factor into the challenge at all, and the boss is honestly absurdly easy. How did this make the cut as a final world boss exactly? Whatever. Then comes 6-4, which is absolutely littered with ghosts. You'll notice, those aren't bricks, and therefore this level is no issue to us. It's then followed by 6-5, which I guess does have some bricks you could theoretically touch. Good thing we're dealing with reality and not theory. In practice, it's not even close to a threat. And finally, calling 6th Castle easy might be selling it a bit short, but calling it Brick Light would be right on the money. That Brick Light descriptor is accurate from the start of the level all the way to the end of the boss fight, which means now it's time to let those credits roll, and a good thing it's coins they're shooting at us and not bricks. So, what have we learned today? It is possible to beat New Super Mario Bros. 2 without touching a single brick block. And honestly, I think this may have been the easiest of these no-brick challenges. And speaking of which, if this is the first one of these you've seen, guess what? It's the 5th one I've made, so if you liked this video, be sure to check out those other 4. Or, of course, any of my other over 30 challenge videos I've posted. And while you're here, pressing that subscribe button, ringing that bell, giving the video a like, all those actions would be very much appreciated. And if you've got a witty quip about this video or ideas for a future one, leave a comment. But anyways guys, until next time, I've been CMeeCraft, and I hope you will be my guest in a future video. Goodbye.